a girl who is not actually a girl, a family that welcomes an innocent child into their home. But nothing is innocent here. A mother who senses something evil, a father who ignores every warning sign, broken bones, bloody lies, a secret that rewrites everything you believe about this story. This is The Orphan, a film where the danger is not outside the house. It is already living with them. Let me explain the full story. Kate Coleman lives with a crushing grief. She and her husband John lost their unborn daughter during delivery, and the emotional wound stays fresh in her mind. They have 2 children, Daniel and Max. Max is deaf and communicates with sign language, and Kate cherishes her with deep affection. The couple decides to adopt a child to bring new light into their home. At the orphanage, Kate notices a small and unusually mature girl named Esther. She is polite, artistic, and carries an old-fashioned style with her ribbons, frilled dresses, and a strange accent. Esther says her previous family died in a fire. She seems lonely, but very intelligent. Kate and John feel drawn to her, so they adopt her. At first, everything seems peaceful. Esther is well behaved. She keeps her room tidy, and she speaks with vocabulary far beyond her age. Max loves her immediately. Daniel finds her a little strange, but tolerates her. But quickly, odd things begin to happen. At school, a girl bullies Esther. Soon after, that same girl falls from a slide and breaks her ankle, and Esther watches from nearby with calm, unblinking eyes. Kate begins noticing strange behaviors. Esther appears silently in rooms without making a sound. She observes Kate and John during arguments. She becomes overly attached to John, clinging to him, and acting jealous whenever he pays attention to Kate. One day, Daniel shoots a bird with his paintball gun by mistake. Esther calmly ends the bird's pain by smashing it with a rock. Daniel is horrified. Esther tells him that if he ever tells anyone, she will hurt him. Meanwhile, Kate starts seeing warning signs. Flowers planted in honor of her dead baby are destroyed. Pages of her diary go missing. Esther pushes Max into risky situations, then manipulates Max to stay silent. Whenever Kate tries to discipline Esther, John defends the girl and accuses Kate of being too stressed from her past alcoholism. The real turning point comes when the head nun from the orphanage arrives to check on Esther. She explains that accidents and violent incidents happened around Esther in her previous placements. She warns Kate that something is wrong with the girl. Esther overhears the entire conversation. Later, when the nun drives away, Esther ambushes her on the road with a hammer. She kills her brutally, and forces terrified Max to help hide the evidence. Max stays silent because Esther threatens her life. After this murder, Esther becomes more dangerous. She tries to create distance between Kate and John by forging notes in Kate's handwriting and staging situations that make Kate look violent. Kate now becomes convinced that Esther is manipulating everyone. Then Daniel discovers something important. He finds Esther's Bible hidden inside her room. Inside it is an old photograph of a man that looks suspicious. When Esther realizes he saw the picture, she threatens him again. Later, Daniel climbs to the treehouse to hide the Bible. Esther follows him silently. She knocks him down, then sets the entire treehouse on fire. Daniel jumps to escape and badly injures himself. Max rushes to help him, while Esther stands at a distance, watching with emotionless focus. Daniel ends up in the hospital. While he lies unconscious, Esther sneaks into the room and attempts to suffocate him. Just when she is about to finish it, a nurse enters and stops her without realizing the truth. Kate sees how close Daniel came to death, and her suspicions turn into terror. At the hospital, Kate tries to remove Esther from near Daniel, and during the confrontation, Esther pushes Kate into a medical cabinet. Kate injures her arm and must stay hospitalized for the night. John takes Esther home, believing she is the one who needs emotional support. Kate finally receives a phone call from an institution in Estonia. They reveal the truth that shocks her completely. Esther's real name is Lena Klammer. She is not a 9-year-old child. She is a 33-year-old woman with a rare hormonal disorder that prevents normal physical growth. Lena has a long record of violence. She has escaped from psychiatric care many times. She has a pattern she poses as a child, infiltrates families, becomes obsessed with the father, and when the father rejects her, she destroys the entire family. This explains every strange detail: her maturity, her jealousy, her cold eyes, her skill with manipulation, her attempts to separate Kate and John. Kate calls John immediately and begs him to get away from Esther. At home, Esther dresses in adult clothes, puts on makeup, and approaches John in a seductive way. John is shocked and pushes her away. This rejection triggers Lena's violent rage. She grabs a knife and attacks him. Kate races home, but when she arrives, she finds John bleeding on the floor. He does not survive. Lena turns her attention to Max next. Max hides as the house becomes chaotic with smashed lights and broken furniture. Kate manages to grab Max and escape outside into the snowy night. Lena chases them to a frozen lake. A brutal struggle takes place on the collapsing ice. Kate fights desperately to protect Max. The ice breaks, and Lena falls into the freezing water, but she resurfaces and grabs Kate's leg, begging her to save her. She calls Kate "Mommy" in a desperate attempt to manipulate her again. Kate looks at her with absolute clarity and says, "I am not your mother," and kicks her in the face. Lena sinks below the water for the final time. Police arrive. Kate holds Max tightly, limping toward the ambulance while the sky begins to lighten. The nightmare ends, but the family is shattered forever. This final moment reminds us that evil does not always enter through the front door. Sometimes, it arrives in the form of an innocent smile. Esther seemed like a child who needed love, but behind the ribbons and drawings lived a woman with a violent past, a twisted mind, and a deadly obsession. This is the chilling story of The Orphan. Thank you for watching the full recap. More mystery and thriller explanations are coming soon.